Greetings and salutations, everybody. So I'm just sorting out the background music for everybody. Don't want to be deafening you or anything. That way lies madness. How are we all? How's your week been since last we all spoke on Wednesday, wasn't it? I've been at work. Work has been busy, and yeah, I've had a couple of bad nights. Snoozy, technical term, snoozy. So yeah, it's been Dark Imperium are coming. Yes, I saw the little monstrosities a little while after getting in, so that was interesting to say the least. With that, now obviously they're in legions. Whether or not they're, because I don't know. Like, you need to see them next to something, don't we? And oh, good evening as well, Arnold, as well. You need to see them next to, say, like some like Imperial Knights or Armigers in particular. So you'd assume. I've been in Wayland Games. That was kind of sobering. Hope it's getting a whole lot better in the coming months. Well, that's the thing. Wayland Games. That store is it. It's closing. So that's why when I mentioned it the other day. Well, when I was in there, they had cleared one wall of stock because that wall was meant to be coming down. I haven't been there since Monday, so. Apparently it was starting on Tuesday with all that business. The new area is a brand new sort of industrial unit, which is probably around about 10 miles away from its current location. So if you drive, it's going to be fairly easy to get to. There is a train station sort of near to the new site, but it would involve a bit of walking. Because I'm not sure what the. Actually, I'll check on the map. Right. Yeah, so here is where the new place is going in. So it's East Horn area. That's the nearest train station. So that's going to be at least I'd say half a mile away, because you come out of there, walk down Station Road, turn left, and it's just here, because you can see it from the A127. But that's not ready to open to the public, so they're going to take a while to get that up and running. Now, there was some speculation that it's probably going to be within the next 3 months, but when I did mention it the other night, that where they're closing down, I said I went in there just to like say goodbye to the place, because I've been going there since they first went there, because I used to go to Wayland before they actually had a gaming store. Dark Mech Joy, I see it's the second one. So yeah, because I knew you was coming down, I just thought there's not as good, and when there's no one like playing games as well, because you can have a little look around and see what they're up to, because there's a, unlike Warhammer World, which is, you know, the premier gaming area, you know, shop and gaming, there's no other stuff. So I've just seen your little video. So that's different from when I was there. Like, see that. So where you have the multiple little stands, that used to be all in one as a central column, or central arrangement. So yeah, so where your video starts off from, it's only that wall there, and then you've got those little units there. They've spun them around. But yeah, so when I went in there, I thought I'd just see what's what and who's about and what's going on. And yeah, I was surprised that there was, like I say, a whole wall of stock missing. The Dystopian War stuff had been removed entirely, because they had one whole section sort of thing with all the fleets and stuff, but that's all gone. But yeah, I'm not sure if they sort of knew about the plans from the people the leasing agency or whatever. But yeah, so they've started the change. They've got people already working down at the new site, but yeah, it's. I was really quite like, oh, they're going down there. And it's like not as good. You know, it is just a small store, but you can get a whole host of stuff. You know, whereas Warhammer World is all about 40k, which is good enough. But they did, Wild West Exodus, Dystopian Wars, and Marvel Crisis Protocol, Shatterpoint. You know, they had a whole swathe of stock available that you could go in and purchase. Unfortunately, no more. Well, I hope the rest of your visit goes better. But yeah, it's because you're going up to Warhammer World, aren't you? I believe you said it was. So that'll definitely be quite good for you and enjoyable, no doubt. Just get some brushes sorted out. But yeah, those Dark Mechanicus are very, very nice. I think, especially for legions, there's definitely room for the Caban machine, because that would be pretty awesome, having little tiny ones of them. But it's if they're going to have anything sort of diverse over to the like AT specific options, may do, but they would be like, I reckon they're going to be like Omega size. Been there a couple of times already. We're staying in the south, going to visit the Isle of Wight. Ah, right, okay. Isle of Wight, yeah, so no. Because I was just thinking along the south coast, because the only place that I've been to down the south coast, but it's nowhere near like Southampton or Portsmouth, is Dice Saloon, but that's just like a gaming, it's a little gaming shop, but they have a nice like gaming hall available. It is a really nice place, and they do awesome like hot chocolate in there. Boop checker. So yeah, actually before, so I did the base for Ibn Farouk yesterday, actually last night. I've got to do the windows, which I normally just over put in a bit of wash on them, a bit of like shade in there. But yeah, it was just a quick knock up because, as I say, I put this onto an LI base as well because this is primarily for LI as a support Titan for my Emperor's Children. But I just went with the pictures. I know in I think you can change the weapons that it's loaded out with, but I thought, no, I'm just going to stick with what's in the that artwork, and let's say turbo laser and the plasma blast gun. So I'm happy with that. You know, it's two of my favourite weapons. Yes, a Vulcan Mega Bolter is always pleasant and to have as an option, but in LI, you know, Titan weapons don't operate the same as they do in AT. I've been to Element Games a couple of times as well, made vids of those visits on my channel. I'm not sure I'm able to make anything of the material I got at Wayland Games today. What did you get from Wayland Games? So Element has actually just opened a new store as well up in Birmingham. So they've now got 3 venues. They're sort of, in my opinion, their main competitors were Wayland and Darksphere, both of which, well, Darksphere has a venue, quite, you know, sizable place in Shepherd's Bush, West London, but you know, Element seems to be doing great, like inroads of setting up stores, whereas most game shops just, you know, that's not Wayland, or sorry, that's not Games Workshop. They have these like city stores, so, and if they're tuning into the gaming market as well, so you get lots of people going in there, and it's a repeat customer at the end of the day, because people are using the venue for games, and they're buying their stuff while they're there because they're getting it at a reduced cost. Because I'm assuming that I am a massive assumption that they sell it at a discounted price like they do on their website. Maybe not at 20%, or well, most cases it used to be like 20%. But you might get, you know, cheaper than RRP going in an Element Games compared to buying the same kits from Games Workshop direct or whatever. The recordings I was able to make, I mean, I got permission to make some recordings at Wayland, but not sure it's worth it. No, as I say, it's more of a nostalgia thing, really, because when I was in there Monday, it was busy. Like, all the tables were taken up because there's all these people that have been playing games down there for years, getting their last bit of gaming in at the venue, because there's nowhere else like that in town. It's like where I work in Harlow, you've actually got 2 gaming stores, well, technically 3. So you've got Griffin Games, which is on the east side of town, well, east side of Harlow. Marquee Models, which is the longest established gaming store in the area. They're actually in the main shopping centre, and they've been there before I started work in Harlow, and that's been 20 odd years, or 20 and a half years. And they've also got near to Marquee one of these games cafes called oh bloody hell, I forgot the name. Geeks Hut, I think, or something like that. So you can go in there, play like playable card games. You can buy playable card game stuff there, and certain other smaller game systems or role-play game stuff. But they do most of their business through people playing the smaller games. They've like a selection of tables you can sort of reserve to go in there. I've been there a few times with Crystal McDowell for her meetups that she has been doing more recently. She was actually up at Warhammer World today for Rob's birthday. So they were doing like multiple games up there. So like Warcry and Kill Team, because that's like Rob's bread and butter, is playing Kill Team. Blood Bowl, because obviously Crystal likes a bit of Blood Bowl. Yeah, so they've been out and about in Nottingham doing all that stuff today. Yes. Geek Retreat, that's what it's called, sorry. Geek Retreat, because that's a franchise thing, because I think there's a few Geek Retreats around the country now. But it's like a little, you can buy coffee and pizza they make on site sort of thing. So, but you can, let's say, I've played AT in there. So, you can play whatever you want. You can play war games in there, Kill Team, or random board games, or role-play games. They've got a big role-play game following. Is the Dark Mechanicum essentially Chaos Mechanicum? Yes, basically. Dark Mechanicum, because the split is... so when the Mechanicum split, originally the Dark Mechanicum, which had the Fabricator General, Cowboy Hal, was in charge. They were going, we're the Mechanicum. The Loyalist Mechanicum, who were exiled on Earth under Zagreus Kane, who was the Fabricator Locum, so the second in command of the Mechanicum. They were there, but the problem is that it was a lot of the binary succession, because there was no clear leadership type thing, and you can't have two Mechanicums. It's all well and good us calling them a Dark Mechanicum, but they're still calling themselves the Mechanicum and stuff. And basically, the Loyalists' Mechanicum elements that were on Earth, they needed to make things add up. So that's what the binary succession is. It's basically like 01, 011, 0001, and all that sort of stuff. So they needed the Imperium more to help them in order to retake Mars. And so they basically, what was best for their interests was to try and get themselves this like element of the Mechanicum in exile made as a Adeptus, because you've got the Adeptus Astartes, Adeptus Sororitas, which didn't come till later on. The Adeptus Custodes, you have the Adeptus Terra, which is like being the Adeptus Administratum type thing. So there was like several Adepti formations already, and the Mechanicum wanted to have the safeguards and safety net of being an Adeptus, because they'll be like helped out more and all that. They'll be given greater leeway. So reluctantly, they maneuvered themselves into a position where it made sense to make them a Mechanicus, the Mechanicum, into the Adeptus Mechanicus. And part of the sacrifice of that was also that the Collegia Titanica would become subject in a tight bond with the Adeptus Mechanicus, because up until the start of the heresy, or during the heresy, in fact, Titan Legios had their autonomy. So they had their own fleets, they had their own defences and all that sort of stuff, and they could do whatever they damn well pleased. And that was too much power, because a Titan is too much, firepower and destruction capability. To have its own autonomy would be, it would bring us back to the same situation they're currently fighting. So part of the thing was that they tied themselves to the Mechanicus, or the Adeptus Mechanicus. So there was a relationship between them both, in that they would defend forges as part of their remit, be based on Forge Worlds, and they would basically take advantage of the forges to resupply and all that sort of stuff. However, they would need the Mechanicus to transport them, so they didn't have that ability to go and do their own thing anymore. But the most important thing for Titan Legions was that you can petition a Titan Legion to engage in warfare. They don't necessarily have to accept it. It's up to the Legio in question. But you can petition them. And it's up to them. If they go yes, you take it on board, you go yay. If they say no, you deal with it, sort of thing. Because they have their right of self-rule, they can do that. So they still have, so they're not under command of the Adeptus Mechanicus, because even the Adeptus Mechanicus still has to ask the Titan Legios to do things, and they can't command them. So it gives them a level of protection, gives us a level of protection from rogue Titan Legios, and it just basically makes everyone in need of each other. Oh, hi Tom, see you there. Hi buddy, been a while. Have guess I'll come in and lurk, but I wanted to go wee dark mech at you. Yes, there are some very nice dark mech stuff. They do look kind of cool. They're very cool. I hope you have some wonderful times with your guests. Hopefully playing Twister or something like that. Demon Ninjas are the most infamous technological creations of the Dark Mechanics. Yeah, because they now realise, hey, let's stick a demon into this thing. Whereas a Kaban machine is basically AI. So they broke the remits and stuck an AI, although it's a limited AI. Is more capable than like a machine spirit in what it does. So that's what made the Kaban machine so dangerous, is that it was self-thinking and learning as well. So you see them in the book Mechanicum. Dark Mechanicum Forge Worlds produce weapons of war for not only themselves but also Chaos Space Marines and other Chaos affiliated warbands. So all the stuff Chaos has, like the Venom Crawler, are Dark Mechanicum designs. Chaos Turkey, etc. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Because they've now been let loose. They got stuff from the vaults of Moravac. As part of the deal with supporting Horus, and if you've read Mechanicum, like the stuff that they produced just by going in there and Skitari type things and war constructs pretty much straight away. As soon as they got in there, they went, oh, look at all this stuff that's been banned, we're not allowed to have, and now we can make it. And then obviously eventually they get booted off of Mars. But you bear in mind, obviously, during the Martian Civil War, it was majority held by Dark Mechanicum, but there were loyalist elements all the way through the heresy still on Mars, fighting in whatever way they could. You see that in short stories like Vorax, Myriad, Cybernetica to an extent as well, because that's where that all sort of starts from. So after, if you've read Mechanicum, read Cybernetica. Well, you can read Vorax as well, because that's all going off pretty much the same time as well. Which is just a little piece, just seeing basically some dodgy Dark Mechanicus dude playing hide and seek with a Vorax. But yeah, it's fascinating. It would be nice to have, you know, more books covering the whole like Mars situation, because there's not been that many. There's been a few mentions. Most of it was in Mechanicum and Cybernetica, with a few follow-ups. So binary succession as well, because obviously that's quite interesting with the creation of the Adeptus Mechanicus. Apart from that, you don't really see Zagreus Kane a lot during the latter stages of the Siege of Terror, and that you hardly see him at all, really. I think some of his adepts are more featured during the events of like Mortis in particular. Yeah, so Kane is not really present as much. I think the last real time we see Zagreus Kane is in damn it, it was Aaron's Emperor of Mankind. That was it. So apart from that, just a few mentions here and there, really. A lot of longing going on with wanting to go back to Mars. But yeah, it's looking interesting, especially well, say with those new Dark Mechanicum stuff. They've pretty much got a license to print money because people like that shit. And especially, like, you know, with the new Mechanicum faction or cybernetic cohort that they've got, Dark Mechanicum stuff as well. That faction's going to get buffed out really quickly. Rules. Dark. Okay. Mhm. The Rise of the Dark Mechanicum. Ooh. Yeah, so there's definitely more stuff going to be coming along with that, no doubt. Brand new stuff plus older kind of things that they used to do. I hope it's not just insect. I love the Victorian time machine field of mechanical over mechanical snipers on stilts. that was a interesting direction that they went with the sniper on stilts. We'd like to see some sort of chaotic horror variant rather than just insects. Yeah, that's the thing. We know a lot of what is produced because of what's used in the 40k area. So this is actually a new creation of the Heresy era. So again, we'll just have to wait and see what they bring to us. Exciting times nonetheless. Definitely interested to see where they go. Will they actually bring out, like, you know, dark mechanic and foot soldiers, like, you know, they've done with the Skitari? Will they do a chaosified version? Mhm. Hmm. Sugar. Hmm. Oh. Oops, sugar. So what you're saying, Dark Mechanicum hasn't had model release before, so this Superius Overlord Heavy Stalker. Yeah, you know, in Heresy era and like LI, no, there's definitely not been anything in there. I've had like stuff in 40k come out, but then that's, you know, not necessarily 30k. There's been Traitor Magos for sure, but nothing specifically like cybernetical units or anything that have been produced as Dark Mechanicum. Brand new. Interesting. Hey, what's up, big guy? Well, if it isn't my favourite Bostonian. How are you, buddy? Interesting they call it a stalker. It looked rather like a Protoss stalker with a few more legs and a bigger gun. Well, you got to bear in mind, like everything up until the emergence of the Dark Mechanicum, everything was the same. It's like the Vulturax, that is the direct predecessor, or the corrupted version of the Vulturax is what becomes the Blight drone for Chaos. So you've got that. So most of the stuff is, I said, perversions, corruptions, and then obviously you got possession as well. So this is actually a new thing by the looks of things that they've actually created as one of the first sort of, as I said, it should have been like the Caban machine should have really been given, you know, a run out, because they had multiple Caban machines during the Siege of Terror. The first one was just the one they put out and to see how it goes. Just got in from shopping and got a hurricane heading right for me. Well, make sure you lock down everything and keep safely indoors with the family. We don't want you getting blown away. We know what happened to Dorothy when that happened. Make sure you're wearing your ruby red slippers. We should be okay. We are on the high spot, so even if it floods 10 feet, we should be okay. Well, thoughts and prayers, brother. Thoughts and prayers. Anyone else dancing with hurricanes or anything wherever you are? We've got a bit, chilly, and that's about it over here currently. It wasn't too bad a day, like weather-wise. To be fair, there was some nice bright spots here and there. Though there is this overriding chill in the air. Thank you, brother. Emperor protects, indeed. I've got up to about, I think I'm up to about level 18 now on my heavy in Space Marine. I only had a few chances to play it recently, so... I played Tuesday, and it was quite funny. I was playing with my friend Brian. He goes to bed early, so it has to be like during the day. So on my day off, I spent a couple of hours playing Space Marine with him, and we gave because normally we play on second level, immediate on operations, and I wanted to get hold of a purple data doodah, so I can actually open up on the better levels of heavy bolter and melter cannon sort of thing. Melter gun, well, multi-melter, and so we've tried that, and we're like, oh my god! But there was this guy with us, like random, who joined, and he must have had some sort of cracked game or something, because he was not losing any health, and Brian was saying, hey, that dude's not, he's not taking any damage from it. I said, well, he's either that good, or he's got cracked the thing, so like he wasn't taking any damage and stuff. And there was some intense violence happening during that game. But I said to Brian, I said, look, to be honest, if he wasn't, we wouldn't be doing as well we are. I went down about 7 times. Because the thing is with heavy, is like if you have something hard and fast like a Lictor or Ravener coming after you, it's really hard to deal with them as a heavy. You don't have any close combat weapons, and so even just trying to roll around, roll for victory, it's really difficult to survive onslaughts. So yeah, I went down 7 times. Brian went down 4 times, and I think the other guy actually did go down at least once, so it might have been twice perhaps. But as you may know, heavy tends to get high levels of ranged damage, so on the end when you go through the stats, I hit 11,000 points of damage on that, and I was still 7,000 points short of what this dude was got with his Vanguard. It's like 18,000 points of damage he dealt at range, and then he also done about 5,500-6,000 points of close combat damage. He just like, he was like a Primarch. Nice. Well, I run only Ruthless now, so we can get your heavy max out. Cool. Yeah, I ran level 4, beat all the ops on them. Nice. Yeah, I'll definitely let you carry me through that for a bit until I get used to it. I'll get those things up. So yeah, so these were what I was also doing the other day. So these are Legion Dreadnought drop pods. So doors coming down. All hunky dunky funky. I'll put the Emperor's Children. Bloody camera. Gosh. These are actually they're bigger than the normal drop pods. I just grabbed one, I'll show you. Slight comparison. Quite a sizable difference in heights for sure. With your little, you know, yeah, you can fit 10 men in that, no worries. Which technically you can. It's got 10 spaces for them. Probably know that you can't fit 10 Space Marine in there. Nice. Yeah, so the drops of the pots. Now you can also do them as a the drop pod per vase, which I think is like a shield emitting one. There's tiny little 3rd Legion Xiphon. I've got 3 of them. Land Raider, Proteus, Spartans, more Proteus, Kratos in there, and Xiphons and drop pods. Dreadnoughts and little artillery bits. Contemptors. That's 6 Contemptors, yeah. 4 Deredios, 4 Leviathans. Apart from these, I've got 1 more sprue, which is here, to do for Emperor's Children, so I'll have 8 Contemptors in total, and another 9 infantry bases. And so I've got some Spartan, Sakarans, and the Predators. So nice selection of vehicles to go with the infantry. But as I say, you've got 2 boxes worth of the sort of artillery, well, not artilleries, you know, the close support with the tarantulas and rapiers and Helios systems, so that's handy. Plus all the dreadnoughts, so that's a lot of. So that's 8 Leviathans in total. So 4 of each type. 4 of each type. The radio, so plasmas and autocannons. Then we'll have 4 of each type contemptors soon, once I start getting them sorted out. So you'll see 6 at the moment, there'll be another 2 along at some point. 3 Xiphons, 1 Storm Eagle as of yet. 4 infantry drop pods, 4 dreadnought drop pods. I do have these speeders to do still, and there is a box of rhinos which I haven't done, so I really need to do them really for these guys. It's only fair. And there is, well, I bought Legion drop pods forgetting that I'd already got Legion drop pods, so it's whether or not I just do another 4 Legion drop pods for dreadnoughts. I need to look through the books again really, just to see what's what. And then we got Ibn Farouk as a dedicated Titan support for my Emperor's Children, and so it's purely based on the fact that Tiger's Eyes were supporting the Emperor's Children during the original AT-88 release / Space Marine times, which was about 1990s really, because I think, yeah, it was about 1990s, early 1990/91 when Space Marine came out, because I was working, I was 16 and I was working at Walthamstow Dogs as a chef assistant, so 3 nights a week I was working from sort of 7 to 11 at Walthamstow Dogs, helping you know wash up, tidy up the kitchen, take food down to certain other kitchens, get stock supplies from the stores, etc., etc., or go to one of the other kitchens to help out if need be. And I used to get paid every 2 weeks. You got paid a little brown like wage envelope with 80 quid was my wages for 6 nights work, sort of thing. And I remember getting those wages and buying Space Marine with it and a few other bits and pieces, sort of thing. So yeah, and in one of the books you had, I think it might be in Codex Titanicus, there was definitely pictures of the Tiger's Eyes escorting Emperor's Children and Emperor's Children tanks being charcoal grey, because the story was that they ran out of purple paint. But yeah, so having these little dudes here with drop pods, they're pretty cool, so I can use them in battle, dropping some dreadnoughts where you don't want them, where the enemy doesn't want them. And then that's the only flying transport that I have so far. I was looking for another Thunderhawk, but they didn't have any at Wayland when I was down there on Monday. But yeah, it's just, do I stick with the drop pods, the Legion drop pods? No, sorry, the Dreadnought drop pods. Because as I say, I do have a lot of Dreadnoughts, so probably makes sense to. Or do I try and take that back and swap it over for some Fire Raptors, for example? But then I've got Xiphons. Xiphons are pretty decent. Fire Raptors don't do much, so you really need like another. If I wanted to have a mobile unit of infantry, a squadron of Storm Eagles, I guess. Right. Beg your pardon, I've got to use the hairdryer a bit, so sorry for any noise. Bigger on the inside. The weapon systems. So with my Empress Children, I have done laser cannon barrels in Liberated Gold. Just to bling them out a little bit because it's Empress Children. They love a bit of bling. I'll just add some more colour to the whole thing, to be fair. So, acrylics. The hairdryer out again. Mhm. Find a paint. So, hmm. Still bigger on the inside, I'll tell you that. So did anyone pre-order their Blood Angels today? No, I didn't. A lot of annoyance with the Sanguinary Guard and lack of wings and stuff. Nope. So every few editions they get revamped. Everyone gets confused. But the kill team looks good. Whisper. Get the hair dryer out again. Love the terrain and kill team for Necromunda. There's so much you can utilise between systems, to be fair. So if you look at it, like Necromunda has had the most support out of any of the Specialist Games systems. Are still looked after regularly. Purple stripe for win. For the win. That's how you know you're dealing with them and not the Iron Hands. So you have Purple. I think that's looking pretty damn good to my little eye. Do a couple of purple accents. A few little bits there. Hey, Andy Gizmo, how are you, buddy? I'm probably going to start work on my Gundam Build World Championship stuff next week at some point. A bit extra purpliness. That's my sort of first real sort of foray into doing like dioramas, really. Never really done much in that sort of side of things, but I have my mission and I'm going to go for it. Look, little Terminator. Cataphractic Terminator next to hey, dude. Oh, program save. We've seen your basing, you're partly there. Yeah, but that's the thing though, I don't necessarily want to do like an urban thing. I have this vision of doing like, well, initially I fancied like with water effects, like the shore against, like, you know, like a beach sort of thing, like a Japanese sort of beach, not like a sandy beach, like a stony beach, with the Gundam sort of like kneeling in the water as if it's just basically just handed down. The pilot has stepped out and it's basically like hand out towards the floor, and there's a small Japanese sort of like waterfront like shack type thing. I don't know what you call it. You know, like a proper little Japanese sort of aesthetic house with some trees around it. So it's just like this Gundam pilot has literally just had the fire of its life, and it's trying to find some sort of like somewhere peaceful and serene just to unload the emotions of what he's been through. So that was my idea that I had. I'm probably going to use Strike Freedom, but not necessarily using the like wingy bits and stuff. I'm not a big fan of big wing display type things unless it's a Kshatriya, but they're not really wings, they're like bits. Yeah, I don't see the point of having winged party boys, but so I've got this little dude, Freedom Gundam, the ZAFT mobile suit, ZGMF X10A or 10A. Yeah, I don't know. I like the actual main dude, not necessarily the wingy dudes. Just to say, I'm trying to do something a little bit different because it reminds me a little bit of the RX-93, and I like the RX-93. But so with this has got all the like internal frame shenanigans, being an RG 144 scale. It should allow me to do posability as such. You know, just have this thing like kneeling and depositing a little guy onto the deck, really. Wings on a Freedom can be folded back. Yeah, I'll see how it goes, really. Putting them out, and because I know, like with my what do you call it, Zaku that I got, although that's a master grade Gundam, that is really posable. But then the RGs are fairly posable as well. So if I just get the unicorn. I don't know what the hell's going on outside, but for the last 10 minutes or so, there's been a lot of screaming. But so that's not necessarily. I'm just fiddling about with this, I know, at the moment. So you've got a whole host of maneuverability to this thing. I'm just wondering if it's actually foxes having sex. Is that time of year? Or is it actually just a girl? Right, so that's sort of like posed there. It's actually pretty cool, actually. Get the light off of it. So they are quite manoeuvrable, I think, but I might not be able to do the pose that I actually want to do as such. I'm liking that pose though. I'm liking this pose. So Zaku, this is because it being a master grade, it's got more articulation in its stance. So kneeling should be possible. I know some people have shave internals down to get more movement. So, yeah. My little Zaku. Yeah. Oh, no. So obviously with like the basic one, so this is like it's not even a HG, is it? It's like an entry grade type version. But you can't get much sort of manipulation to get it posed. I'm saying it's only a basic. Looks, you know, aesthetically pleasing, but you can't really get the start. So you've got to go with a better kit as such for that manoeuvrability and posability. Took a look at my because Shatria and thought, no, touchy. Not a good idea. For a lot of neck. Yes. So apart from that, we have achieved what we set out to do, which was to paint this little fella and to show off the Titan and the drop pods for those children. So I'm gonna call it, because I've got nothing else to do. Otherwise I'm just looking at Gundam and moving, and that's not helping me, because I'm not using any of those Gundam. I think, as I say, with Freedom Gundam, look, let's open this up. So get these dudes out of the way. Have a little unboxing. There you go. So that's a lot of the internals. Them there. Nice. One, two, three. Apparently this has an advanced MS joint and realistic decal on your internal superstructure. bits are just added onto. See, railgun I'm interested in. But you're right, Gizmo, the wings can be folded back as well as spread. Beam rifle, beam sabers, and the shield. So railguns are a part of the wings. You've also got the hip-mounted ones as well. Again, I'm probably not going to utilise the wings. I might not even use the hip-mounted rail rifles. I'm just looking for stuff that, as I said, I've just got this idea of just this like returning warrior and just going to somewhere of peace and serenity and just taking a chill pill. But probably going to be that instead, without the wings. Yeah. We shall see. We shall see. But yeah, so that's probably going to. That is it for me for tonight. As I say, there wasn't much on, and most of our Saturday streams recently have only been until 10. So I'd just like to say thank you all for popping in and saying hi and just chilling whilst hobbying. That's the best we can do, is just a hobby as best you can, whenever you can, even if it's for like 20 minutes, half an hour or whatever. Just do some hobby, because you know life is stressful enough. Just take a break and just get on with some painting, building, whatever takes your fancy. But anyway, thank you again, and hopefully I will get to see you all on Wednesday for another hangout stream. And until then, keep safe, keep happy, and keep hobbying. Oh, thank you very much, Crimson. You're my hobby love too. Oh, you're my hobby Lee. Oh, thank you. You get a little bit hobby love. There you go. Yeah, so I'll catch up with you guys on Wednesday. Usual time, usual channel. See you then. Take care. Bye.